Well, let's talk about some shipwrecks. Okay, now what shipwreck are we talking about today?
Well, this morning I thought we would talk about one of the most accessible shipwrecks in the Marine Sanctuary. It's the Monohansett.
Okay.
And it's one that you can see on the glass bottom boat. You can snorkel it, you can paddle to it and tie up to the mooring buoy. You can, of course, scuba dive it. And it's right off the shores of Thunder Bay Island. So it's a really beautiful, picturesque maritime landscape, if you will, with the lighthouse there and the beautiful shoreline, the beautiful lake, and of course a one-of-a-kind piece of history right there beneath the waves.
Okay, now me and you were talking about stories earlier. What makes this story unique?
This, that's what I think is so special about the shipwrecks in the sanctuary, about these time capsules, and they really do capture the stories of the regular people like you and me who were making their living working on the ships. And one story in particular about the Monohansett, lots of stories are contained within these shipwrecks, of course, but one story in particular that is pretty funny was years before it finally sank. I mean, most of these ships really had a long life working on the lakes. So about 10 years into its service, 1889, September of 89, it was up in Lake Superior, terrible, terrible storm, and such that a huge wave crashed in the wheelhouse where the helmsman was there trying to weather out the storm, threw him off the boat, and then the next wave threw him back on the boat. And he spent the next 48 hours struggling, trying to pilot the boat to safety, and was able to pilot it to safety, and it went on and ran another, couple dozen years.
Wow, so he basically was about to get
drowned.
Yeah, drowned,
Right.
And then he was saved.
Right. I call that the tale of the throwback sailor.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I can see how that's a little giggle for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of scary for me.
Very scary for him, too.
Right, and being on some of these ships with you guys, I mean, you think about stuff like that.
For sure.
Right. Now, of course, we can't see the ship right now because it's actually snowing outside.
Yes.
But in the springtime, a few people, if they want to get out there, they can dive, right? And
that's right. Lots of different ways to access the shipwreck. The final story, I guess, of the working vessel, the Monohansett, as we see, the story lives on when you and I can go visit it, students can go visit it on the glass bottom boat. But the way it did end up sinking was in 1907, so it was November 23rd, 1907.
Okay.
Thinking about late November, terrible weather, of course, and it was dodging a storm, and so anchored and was hiding out right by Thunder Bay Island, trying to weather out the night. Middle of the night, a lantern in the engine room toppled over, and the cargo of the Monohansett at that time was coal, and it was a wooden freighter. So the lantern topples over, and you're going to have fire. So it ended up burning to the waterline. However, the people, the life-saving station folks on Thunder Bay Island, were able to save the entire crew.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So the crew was saved once again.
The crew was saved once again.
Okay. Well, I love you coming in and telling me stories about our wrecks in the area, of course, in Lake Huron.